Good evening, good evening, and welcome to another edition of the New Black Leadership Coalition show. My name is Gregory Sain. Stake your claim with Gregory Sain. I'm here live in the studio tonight alone, just me and you. And so we're going to have a great time. I'd like to thank the Creator for blessing me and you with another day of life on this planet called Earth. I take this very serious, and I'm here over these precious airwaves trying to say something to make a difference. And yes, as I've said this before, and it sounds jokingly, but it's the truth. I do not have an equal on the radio. Not one station, not one radio host, nowhere under the sun, because they themselves, for the most part, have not had the supreme wisdom, the teaching, the training that I have. And I'm just calling it like it is. So at the end of the day, I mean, some of them are pretty sharp, but they don't have that foundation. So typically, when you hear them speak, they only go so far as real liberation, real salvation, and real problem solving for our community. So tonight, on this day of independence, the 4th of July, matter of fact, my drive on the way here, and even right here in this community, I hear so many firecrackers and dago bombs and oh my God. I mean, you don't know if it's real bullets or not, especially in this climate right now. It's not a good feeling to hear all of that. And I mean, do they run out of ammunition? Where do they get this crap? And somebody, once again, is profiting from our foolishness. Yes, you heard me loud and clear. It is absolutely foolishness and have nothing to do with our sojourn here. That is not the way we should be celebrating. Not at all. Matter of fact, you really need to go and go online and just read some of the words of Frederick Douglass regarding the 4th of July. But anyhow, I want you to call in tonight. You know, I don't want to do all the talking, but I got a lot to say. I got some things on my mind. And I think if some of you all read my post earlier, I had on there politics and politics, politics and politics, and politics without economics is symbol without substance. So, you know, at the end of the day, I want to get into that. I was reading an article by Laura Washington, and she was talking about the fact that now, I guess Reverend Jackson has he's been brought out of the cold, so to speak. That's some of what she said. I'm gonna paraphrase it, but it was really belittling not so much Reverend Jackson, but it's almost like they belittled themselves. So he had Miss Hillary Clinton here at the Rainbow Push luncheon. I think they had a luncheon for the women, and he said all of the elite. She said it. All of the elite African Americans from around Chicago was in attendance over at the McCormick Place Hilton. And I'm going, elite? What the hell is elite? And who are they that you call them elite? In most cases, most of them are wannabes. And the only reason they're in the room is because they feel more important when they're in the room with others than themselves and with folks who probably don't have a name recognition. It's just, I mean, it's a slave mentality. It really is. And that's part of the politics that I'm going to talk about tonight, and how some of those same individuals, they gather in a room, they got low self-esteem. Most of them, they have low self-esteem. But tonight I want you to call in because I'm going to put some things out here. 708-223-8959. That's 708-223-8953 here at IntellectualRadio.com. And you know what? While I have you here, call some of your friends and tell them to tune in, because we really got some things to talk about tonight. I want to go back to Jesse Williams just for a minute. I told you I was going to do a part 2 on Jesse Williams, and I did applaud the brother for such a great speech. I applauded Jesse Williams for a great speech during the BET Awards. But my part two is not to reprimand him, but to build on what he was saying, because I think I would be remiss if I did not say what I'm going to say. See, the speech was great, and it was really pointing the finger at the system and what the um, should I call them the ruling class, or what white people are not doing. But in that room was black folks who have, you know, a lot of money, some of them. And collectively, they didn't walk out that room with a plan to unite and to do some things to fix what's wrong in our community. So half of his speech should have been checking them. They should have been checked, because all of us, we sit in a room and we complain. And yes, some of the complaints are legitimate, but then we're a fool if we are waiting on somebody to do for us what we should be doing for ourselves. So Jesse didn't have that much time, to go into that, but that should have been the other part of what someone else said to them. We give each other a pass while we could blame and we could look at what other folks are not doing for us or what they're doing to us. But what about what are we doing to each other? And what about what are we are not doing for each other? That's the real issue. And until we fix that, listen, no one should respect us if we don't respect ourselves. And we laying around, sitting around, crying, complaining about what someone is. Nobody else is going to clean our doggone house. You got to clean your own house. What's wrong with us cleaning our own house? And then the sad part of it is, I mean, it's a decent platform, BET, but most of those goofies that's inside that room, all he made is most of them, some of the music is fine. And I have to give credit where credit is due, but a lot of it is garbage. A lot of it is plain garbage. And we put these folks on a pedestal because they act and they play basketball. I mean, we are honoring, we are running up behind folks that all they do is play. They play basketball. That's it. They act. They not even being for real. And when they being for real, they are most of the time are not folks you look up to. So the only time you like them is when they act in some scene or shooting a ball or running a ball or hitting a ball. See, we so programmed, we so damn programmed. But anyway, Jesse Williams, some of it should have been spent toward checking the folks in the room. And I guarantee you to this day, to this very single day, none of them have decided to get together to sponsor something, go and create some programs, mentoring programs, or support some of the existing mentoring programs for boys and girls in every city, across every part of the city. It's enough money in that room to do everything. Matter of fact, enough money in that room to do some farming. How many of them have a farm? How many of those folks in the room got together and say, let's grow something that we consume, that we go and buy at stores? So they not someone that you should be looking up to, because that's not intelligent to continue to wait on somebody else to provide every good and service for us. See, that's retarded. It is crazy as the people that's at 10 o'clock, almost 11 or midnight in a minute, and we still popping firecrackers, still exploding Dago bombs. That's a mentally gone crazy individual. And I know the fireworks is fine. Go downtown, go uptown, wherever, and you see the fireworks. I've also as a kid, was fascinated over all of that. But I thought they did that yesterday. So what is this going on tonight? And then we still don't hook any of that up with the atrocities that have happened to us here in America. I mean, are we really in position to be celebrating anything with all of the madness that's going on here in Chicago and the state and around the world? Celebrating it for what? For what? And for who? Man, I mean, did your preacher talk about it yesterday at church? Did he give you the history of this? How could he be your teacher and he don't know history? How could he be teaching you scripture and he don't know history? History best rewards your research. History best rewards your research. And we have people standing in front of us. I'm not saying that they're illiterate. I'm just telling you they're not the sharpest knife in the drawer. And they standing in front of you with some emotionalism when we are hungry and thirsty for knowledge. And that knowledge and truth is what will make us free. 708-223-8953. I want to hear from you all tonight. Tell me, what do you think should have been said in addition to what the system, what the government has been doing, is still doing to us as far as this whole economic thing? And you know, this politics thing, you know, politics is like the art of compromising. And Reverend Jackson and Al Sharpton, they went inside of Ferguson and the people chased them out. Hillary Clinton, why would you come to Chicago and you look up Jesse to come? Jesse doesn't have that kind of draw, that kind of pull in Chicago. So if you're looking for Reverend Jackson to deliver you black votes, you silly. You're very silly. Why aren't you not hooking up? Well, I know why you're not hooking up with the millennium, because most of them understand, you know, exactly what's happening with you and who you are and your past and your present. And so you go and you meet or you the keynote speaker for Rainbow Push. But come on, you're not hooking up with the new black leaders. You're not hooking up with those that are not prostitutes. You're not hooking up with those who are not whoring, those who are not scratching where they don't itch. You're not hooking up with those who are not going to sugarcoat. You're not hooking up with those who are not going along to get along. You know, you hooking up with the same individuals who you know doggone well cannot, have not delivered black people out of the conditions at all. They have no effect. They have no power. They have no influence. Yeah, they got a few followers. But if you go to most of those places, when they meet, they only have 15, 20, maybe 20 people in the room. Yeah, when they give a big thing, everybody want to come out with a little glitter on and, you know, they little fine rags, and you could fill up a room then, but it's just a show. And it's really embarrassing that some of these individuals will continue to play this game. They don't have no shame. I mean, they have absolutely no shame. I mean, what is it about this arrogance? I mean, this vanity. I mean, just strictly vain, man. Vain. As though you're the only somebody that should be speaking. And nobody's telling you all to speak for us. You need to sit your butt down. And that's with love. You need to sit your butt down, man. Your time is over. You're not the person who should be out front anymore. And it's sad that you feel like you can just do that and it's okay. I mean, that's very, 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 very arrogant. It is. It really makes no sense. But again, as I told you all, I showed up tonight because it's a beautiful night. I could have stayed at home on the 4th and just chilled out, but I took this drive because I felt like we should talk a little bit about some of the current issues and keep our eye on the prize. And the prize is the minds of our people. I mean, when you look at the condition and you realize that we're not fixing stuff that is our responsibility, we have to be held accountable. We have to be held. Why are we waiting on Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump, both of them together? They will not fix the problems in the black community. Nope. You want some more handouts? That's why you with her? Because that's all you gonna get is some crumbs. Yep, some crumbs. Not 30 pieces of silver, 30 pieces of chicken. That's what most of them sell they soul for, 30 pieces of chicken. And they go behind closed doors and they cut these deals. Our people still are in the condition that they're in, and then they leave votes, just a few. And then a lot of you all are saying, well, if you don't vote for Hillary, that's like voting for Donald Trump. Well, if you vote for Lucifer, that's like voting for Satan. Okay? It's the fox or the wolf. It's what we have. It's Matt Dillon or Bob Dylan. It's the diplomat or republic. It's 6 in one hand, a half a dozen in the other hand. All right, go figure. Now you want to try to make some sense out of it, you do that. But I think our people deserve to be awakened. And I know so many of you all, you so stuck. You so stuck. And you so afraid to break away from the plantation politics. Because you stuck. I'm a Democrat and we should, people die for us to vote. No, they died for us to exercise our right to vote. That's foolish. And anybody that think like that, you have backwards thinking. Yeah, we just should vote because you don't have a clue what you're talking about. You exercise it. If you want to, you do. If you don't, you don't. But don't try to make it seem as though it's something wrong with folks because they stay out of it. Hell, you vote and then you don't go and clean up your own neighborhood. You vote and you don't go and say something to the people across the street from you. You vote and you don't speak to people in the morning. So what's the point? You can vote, 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 vote. But until we act as though we are a family, we are a community, we love each other, we respect each other, I don't care who in the White House, things ain't gonna change. They never gonna change. As long as we continue to think like this and we act as though, it's life or death. Oh my God, we can't let Trump in, man. Please, we gonna survive. I don't care if Trump wins or if Hillary wins. You think our destiny is in the hands of politicians? Do you really think something is gonna change by either one of them getting in office? Let me tell you why it's not gonna change. Has it changed in 8 years? Hello, somebody. I know you hear me talking to you. Has it changed in 8 years for us? Symbolically, great gesture. Pride, yes. Hope, I'm going to say it like this. And some false hope. But that hasn't changed the condition. Right here where the president is from. Right down the street from where the president is from. Around the corner. Right where he was a community organizer. Look, I'm just realistic. Local politics, local issues starts with what we do in our homes. A ruin of a nation begins within the homes of its people. The ruins of a nation begins within the homes of its people. That's where it happens. And until we fix that, there's no fixing. I was over at the Chosen Few house picnic. I stopped by there. I don't know how many thousands of our people were there peacefully, enjoying themselves, eating, drinking, music, dancing, having a great time at a pretty decent cost of 30, I think, to 40 bucks. Look at all that money and look at all of those people that was at the house picnic. Now, you mean to tell me if we can gather like that in mass, we can't gather to do farming? We can't gather to rid the crime in the black community? We can't gather together to take control of our schools? We can't gather together like that to take control of our community? We can't gather like that to put in office who you know will serve our interests? All of those folks. See, we got to learn to party with a purpose. Yes, you give them a hand because it is an occasion where we see that we can get together. Now, the media, they do not focus on that. The media didn't talk about that, just like they didn't talk about the Million Man March. They never talk about anything that's positive and productive because they know if it don't bleed, it don't lead. If it don't bleed, it doesn't lead. We really need to turn off the news and punish them. See, we make them who they are, but until we in that garbage that's full of propaganda, that's really disrespectful. It's very disrespectful that they only show us the negative violence. They don't show the positive. Not at all. Not one time. Not our order. All those folks, don't you think we should get together like that to solve at least one issue? One issue. Pick one issue that all those folks can zoom in on and it's fixed overnight. 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 The chosen few. The chosen people of God. Maybe that's what we have to call it once we get together. The chosen people of God are at the chosen few picnic and have selected one particular issue, and we all gonna get together and show strength and unity and go and fix it. That's intelligent people. That's intelligent people. Because I don't care what Governor Rauner and all that don't make a difference. Again, we give them too much credence because we have not collectively shown strength. And I'm telling you, there's no way out of this unless we unify. There's no way out of this unless we do practical things. Practical things. Even the church. If the church would do practical things with the money that you collect, reverend, pastor, minister, clergy, bishop, father, evangelist, if you would take those dollars and unify, I mean, special places where there's 1,000 churches on a couple of blocks. And most of those preachers, they don't get together and decide that on Monday, they start in a credit union. See, I mean, practical stuff. No, we don't want to start that. We believe that that responsibility is the government. Let the government do it. See, I'm sick and tired of us waiting on a mystery God. We are waiting on a mystery God to fix what's wrong in our community. Now, I done told you all, I want somebody to call in and talk to me. I didn't come here to talk by myself all night. I gave you the number 708-223-8953. Don't let nobody call in here in 5 minutes or so. I'm gonna walk out of this studio. I think I've said enough anyway today. I ain't got to just go on and on. I can play this back. This, matter of fact, this goes right up on iHeart Radio and YouTube, and I think it's a few other blogs that you could see it on. But if don't nobody call me in 5 minutes, I'm gonna walk out this studio seriously, and I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna make my word bond. What time is it now? Let me ask the producer. What time is it right now? 10:24. If I don't get a call by 10:30, you're gonna see me next week on Monday. Because some of you all, you're hard-headed. Now I know you listening, I appreciate that, but I need your interaction. That's what we have to have in our community. We have to interact with each other. We have to talk. Tell me what you think. Don't be afraid. Are you afraid to talk to Gregory Sain? Are you afraid, or did I offend you? I mean, I think some of you all do get a little offended because you like people to sugarcoat stuff. But the ones who want it straight like this, and you really understand and you really know that what I'm saying is the truth, then call me. And if you don't call me, that's fine because I can get into bed early, you know, but I'll come back. 708-223-8953. You got about 3 minutes or 3 minutes and a half. It was 5 minutes ago. You don't call. And let me say this before I go off the air, if I don't get a phone call. All of those folks that are born in the month of July, I mean, whatever month you're born, happy birthday. But I want to send a shout out, give a shout out to um, some of my buddies, my girls, and my sisters. They're in Baltimore, they're in Maryland, they're in Virginia, they're in Washington, D.C. area. I want to say what's up to the July girls, very strong sisters on the East Coast. Love them, love you dearly. Oh, yeah, the July girls. Yep, all of you all. And I told you I was going to do this to the July for the July girls and for the Leos too. I know the Leos is like, why didn't you say something about us? I'm not in here to talk about astrology right now. But anyway, um, I'm going to get out of here tonight. The producer's looking at me like, are you serious? He want to get out of here too. He's like, I think our lines are on. They on? Okay. I'm giving you all a couple minutes because I know a lot of people are listening. Matter of fact, quite a few people text me and told me, I'll be listening. Wherever you listening, give me a call and let me know what you think about the politics or politricks. And politics without economics is symbol without substance. So I don't care what Reverend Jackson and Hillary Clinton or, you know, with Bill Clinton or Al Sharp, whatever, Donald Trump with Mike Tyson and Mike Dicker, whatever these combinations are, none of that is going to solve our personal problems in the black community. Somebody called. I swear to God, I was getting ready to walk off this thing. Boy, they saved. They saved you. Whoever this caller is, you saved because I was getting ready to walk out this studio. I'm good.
Hey,
What's going on?
I ain't scared. Brother, you on point. You just on point. You know, I was watching the replay of Reverend Jackson's convention, and the moderator, he couldn't have chased like a bill collector, a better moderator for this particular event. Roland Martin opened up and said, after 50 years, the AC still broken.
Say that again.
After 50 years, Reverend Jackson, the AC still broken.
Wow.
That's how he opened up the panel.
After 50 years.
After 50 years, the air conditioning still broken up in here.
Wow. Wow. That's embarrassing.
In hindsight, no, he was just joking and playing around with them, and it was a good opening panelist. But we just had a token. He ain't doing nothing. After 50 years of voting, can we eat it? Can we drink it?
Teach.
Is it working? Hell no, it ain't working. Okay.
Wow.
And so I thought about it a little while. I mean, it was the broadcast. I had to give it to him.
Yeah, and let me say this. It's a production.
That's exactly what it is.
It's so with them, Roland Martin, it's a production. So they profit off our people because they know how to almost make it made for television type of production. And they'll throw a few little things in there, just like a movie. And some movies make you really scared, like it's for real. It's not for real. It's all production. It's a production.
To tell the truth, Brother Greg, the real truth, it's almost like they can't do it, otherwise they get their head cut off. You know what I mean?
Right, as though you're going to live forever. So you're afraid to stand up like a man or a woman and just be clear. And that's why our people, and particularly the youth and young people, they so fed up with them and they don't care. And some of them, they so far out there, I promise you, that they have like mental issues. I mean, you begin to think that something wrong, their brain is fried because they know doggone well they're not relevant at all. They're not relevant.
Look, let me just say this. It's everywhere. It ain't just there. It's almost everywhere. You know, we can't do for self if the whole body around us, even those that look like us, are there to block us. Just like Brother Harold was talking about those people that are put in place to keep you down. Saying that we ain't figured out how to get around that yet.
They don't. These people right here, they really in the way of progress, and they purposely plant them there because they realize that it's a production. So the media, they run to where they are. The media realizes that Reverend Jackson, Al Sharpton, and Donna Brazile, they have no power, no effect, no real true influence in the Black community at all. They know that. I mean, they really do. So they do not mind bringing them on and, talking about some things that have happened around the country. They don't really ask them too much of anything because they realize that these folks get a paycheck to keep our community confused.
I have a question. I like an honest answer to, if you don't mind, and then I'm gonna sit down. Maybe somebody else will call in. But the question that I have is, what do you think would happen if the majority of the people withdrew their autographs, their signatures from the polling place, and just didn't go to vote. If the majority of the people refuse to participate in the same old, get the same old result, what do you think will happen?
Personally,
Yeah.
it would be on the way to freedom, justice, and equality. Because folks that are intelligent realizes that it's not voting. You don't hear the fever, in other communities frantically courting the vote of people outside of the black community. So why is it in the black community that we act as though everything, all our eggs is in this basket, and if we don't, it's the end of the world? That's a lie. That's the politics that take us away from the economic answer to our problems. So our energy and our effort would go toward economics.
So then is it safe to say that it is true that if we sign our name at the voting poll place, just the signature alone gives them the authority to do what the hell they doing to us?
Oh, absolutely. People disrespect us because we act very stupid, and we act very disconnected from reality. And so folks take advantage of that. I mean, and they're going to continue to take advantage of it because we put that out there. Now we got a generation, they ain't having it. And let the truth be told, they are not having it. They are not duped. They are not like those folks that we're talking about, the old guard. And they call them the old guards is because they stand in the way of the real people who get to the table and just don't take some chicken and chicken deals, and then they go and they happy. They don't want those folks at the table, so they take the old guards. The old guards, they don't invite anybody else to that table. They only invite to the table people who be falling asleep at the meetings.
Yeah, brother, I would like to, if you would just give me 1 second, I'd just like to apologize for my ignorance. Because if somebody dropped some knowledge on me and I couldn't share it fast enough because I didn't understand it. And because I still don't fully understand it, the little bit that I do understand, people don't want to discuss that openly because they are afraid.
That's all it is fear.
It goes against everything we've been brainwashed to believe is true.
Yep.
It is very much tied to our signatures, our approval. And so I can't be mad at the people that I voted for when I didn't know better. And then because I voted for them, I didn't know I was giving them permission to step on my back and keep me down.
Wow.
To take my damn house from me and make me homeless. Yes, I am homeless right now because of some people I voted for.
Wow.
I didn't know.
And that's absolutely, and that don't make any sense. How could someone as beautiful as you are, as smart as you are, given as you are, and about the upliftment of people, period, as you are, be homeless when you are absolutely about progress? And it could happen to any one of us. And I like to say that I pray and I hope, and call me offline because I want to talk with you more about that. You have my number. You know how to get in contact with me.
No, I don't.
Okay, I'm going to. Are you on Facebook, right?
Yeah, but it's gonna be hard to find me. But I can.
No, well, find me and inbox me your information.
Well, I'll inbox you something where you can get to me.
Right. That's what I mean. Inbox me.
I don't have my home anymore, so you know how that goes.
Right. But just tell me how to locate you, however it is, and then I'll find you so we can talk offline. I just want to see what I can do to help.
All right. I appreciate that. I didn't put that out there for that.
No, but that's all right.
Put it out there.
If I hear that, once
that,
you hear that, you just don't let that go by. I'm not. If you are a person that really care, you might not be able to do it yourself, but then somebody else, or you line people up with resources, or you do some other things to see if you can make that connection. You try. At least you put some effort in seeing what we can all do. If it's a small, large, in between contribution, whatever it is, if you have to take somebody out and that's one day they eat good, and maybe you do it again, do something. So stop trying to say that you saved, and not you, but the folks that are listening, and those who are not listening that will listen later. Stop talking about you blessed and highly favored, and you ain't feeding a damn soul. How could you be?
Brother, let me just tell you something. This is honest to God truth. God is good, even today.
I couldn't hear you.
I said, God is so good that even in this place, in this state, and in this time, my belly is full. There is a roof over my head. It just ain't mine.
Well, that's good. All praises
right.
due. And you know what? Let me tell you something.
I'm not in pain.
But guess what? Most of the roofs that people living in ain't theirs either. So
yeah, well,
I'm gonna say that again.
Yeah.
Most of the roofs that's over the average person head are not theirs either. And that's a whole nother conversation. But I appreciate your love. I appreciate your call. You stopped me from walking off out of the studio, not because I was hurt. It was just that I think I said enough tonight and it was good. Sometimes you have to do what you feel, and it might be radical, but it's real. I'm real. I'm not scripted. And what you hear, it comes straight out of I'm not rehearsed or any of that. So this is not a production, as you heard, with Roland Martin, and Tavis Smiling. They all rehearsed. That's all production. They not about liberation. They not about educating Black people or no people with information that's about liberation. They all entertainers in their own way. But anyway, I appreciate you. Have a wonderful night, and we'll talk soon.
All right. Thank you, brother. And thank you for doing this show. I'm looking forward to more and more.
Yes, ma'am. Peace and love.
Take care. Peace and love.
I'll say this. It's fear that sister was just referring to, that they're afraid. They're afraid. We are afraid to speak with a man and a woman's voice to power. You can sit at the table with anyone. You can sit at the table with the mayor. You can sit at the table with the governor. You can sit at the table with your alderman. You can sit at the table with your state rep. You can sit at the table with your senators. You can sit at the table with the president. You can sit at the table with the Supreme Court justice. You can sit at the table with whoever. But when you sit at the table, don't sit at the table and act as though you are subservient. Don't sit at the table and scratch where you don't itch. Don't sit at that table and you hear some garbage and you don't challenge it. Don't sit up at that table and accept crumbs from the rich man's table. No, be a self-respecting man or woman and make sure that when somebody tried to offer just you something, refuse it and say, it's not about me. It's about the masses. It's about the people, the community. That's what it's about. That makes you a man or woman of principle and a man and a woman of God. And that's why we need new black leadership. That's why we have the new black leadership coalition. Yep. And it's comprised of individuals that are doing some amazing and awesome things out in the community. Yep. And these individuals are not the typical guys who go in again and take backdoor deals, and then they run and they front like they all about the community. Aren't you sick and tired of those kind of, and they never stop. They never will stop. I mean, they don't know how. They don't know how. Sharpton don't know how to sit down. They ain't never bust a grape. Our people suffering. I mean, suffering. And if it was not for individuals like the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, we would be in deeper, deeper problems. If it were not for people like Dick Gregory. I mean, you know, folks that are real. I know a lot of you all listen to some of the other guys on YouTube. I'm not calling their names. I think some of them are very bright, very intellectual guys. They're very knowledgeable, but they are still yet to be a part of a program that believes in doing for self. Even them, they waiting on crumbs. I'm telling you, there's no way out of this unless we decide to be accountable, personal accountability in our community. We have to police ourselves, our own children. Police your own children. Police your block. That means not arrest your block. It means build a relationship with your block. You don't know the person across the street name. You know nothing about a person that live a few feet away from you. And that's for folks, whether you in the so-called hood or you in, you know, one of the prima donna areas. And, you know, I hear a lot of you all like to brag. Oh, I live in Bronzeville. I'm in Hyde Park. I'm in the Gap. I'm in Woodlawn. I'm in Beverly. I live in the Highlands. I live in Ashburn. I live in South Shore. I live in Lincoln Park. So what? So what? You don't even know your neighbors. You don't. And then some of you all act as though you never lived in the Ickeys and the Robert Taylor, Stateway Gardens, Cabrini Greens. You do. You act like you never lived in some of the challenging areas financially, economically, so you got comfortable. I'm never going to get comfortable, ever, ever. There's no dollar amount. There's no job, no position, no zero that I'm going to sit on my butt and not try to wake up the masses. I mean, God has put it in me. Nope, I don't go along to get along. I respect people, period. But I'm going to sit at that table as a self-respecting individual, period. And I can't be bought. Well, everybody can be bought. Oh boy, if they offer you the right price. Nope, not everybody. I'm sorry. And everybody has not been bought. Most of the ones who have been bought, they sold out a long time ago. And they can't change their ways. They got those stripes on them. That's how they're going to leave out of here. So don't try to change them. Don't even waste time. They stuck. Don't you be stuck with them. Whatever you do, don't you be stuck with them. Let me get another caller. Oh, I'm going to leave out the studio. That caller saved you all. The ones who just listening, 708-223-8255. 8953. 708 223 8953. What do you think about politics and politricks? Do you know what politricks is? Anybody like to give me your definition of politricks? Is there anybody out there that I've offended? Well, not, let's say, put it like this. Can some of the Hillary Clinton fans and supporters, you can call in? Or if you're Donald Trump, there's some black folks supporting Donald Trump. Yes, it is. Yep. And then there are some people who really are not at all feeling Trump or Hillary Clinton. They're just people not feeling either one of them. Let me know how you feel. Are you going to vote for Sanders? Or are you smart enough to know that regardless of who is in the White House, the Governor House, City Hall, that will not fix what's wrong in our house? How many of you all realize that? How many people get it? And how many people don't like the truth? And soon as you hear this, you shut it off. You know, there's some people, the minute they hear this, they shut that off. It's like, I don't want to hear that. Because they stuck. They waiting. And you'll be waiting until you blue black in the face. That is not going to ever, 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 ever change. No, it has not. We're in 2016. And things have gotten worse. This is the tale of two different, not only cities, but two different societies. I mean, what was written in the Colonel Commission report is still alive and well to this very, very, very day. And that's why I had to go back to Jesse Williams' speech and say, great speech, Jesse. And I'm glad that you absolutely said some things to those that control the media, those that supposed to be serving and protecting. You were talking to various entities. You was talking to individuals, groups. But then we really left out who we really needed to be talking to, and that's to self, and that's to each other. That's where the conversation need to stay. The conversation need to stay in house. Stay in house. Don't go outside of the house. Fix it. Wake up in the morning and fix a problem. Speak to a neighbor. Try to motivate a young person. Stop being afraid to tell them to pull up their pants. Stop being afraid to tell them don't use that kind of language. That's not cool. I mean, who you waiting on to do it? Because it's obvious that they're not going to get it from the home. So if the home has failed our babies, and then those of us who know that they still need love, they still need discipline, they still need nurturing, why are we just standing on the sideline complaining and not challenging them? I challenge them every time I see them. Every time. And some of the ones who are making those bad decisions to go out and do something wrong, we have an opportunity to deflect that. We have an opportunity to de-escalate that. But just because we walk by them or allow them to walk by us out of fear, or just totally you're not concerned, you really don't care. You don't care. You say you outraged, you say you fed up, Well, you don't act like it. I mean, we do get together and we do march. I do say that some of you all have rent a march. You can rent now a protest. They got a protest kit out now called How to Protest. It's called Rent a Protest Kit. And it's sold by Jesse and Sharpton. No, I'm just kidding. But if someone, they probably do have the protest kit instructions. I laugh, but they do. But we need to, what about collective bargaining? What about collective power? What about tomorrow morning, one block? Not only do we go and clean it up, but we don't allow people to trash it. You make them pick up the garbage. You tell them, don't throw that bag out, pick it up. I mean, sometimes you don't have an opportunity to because it's right there when you get home or, when you walk by it. But when you see it, we got to say something. And until we start speaking up to the individuals out here doing our community the way they doing it, it's not going to change, folks. All you're going to do is keep reading the headlines. That's it. That's all. And if you tell me you praying that God's going to deliver us out of this, I can fly planes. I'm a pilot. Yeah, God going to do what God does. So God got the power. So you don't think God could stop it overnight? So do God desire it to be stopped? Is God asleep? God gone? Where is God? See, it's us. It's us. That's what's missing in this equation. Us. We got to take those steps. God has already empowered all of us. We don't use it. We're afraid to walk through the valley of the shadow of death. We're afraid. We love to quote that scripture, but we're afraid to really walk through the shadow of death where we do not any whatsoever evil. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, and I hear people saying it, but you don't believe that. You don't believe it. You scared of your own shadow. You scared. You scared of what looks just like you. You see yourselves in some of those little brothers and sisters. You've been like that too. But there was an adult, a caring, nurturing, loving, courageous adult that challenged us. We don't challenge the youth. I do. But not enough of us collectively. We don't do it together because we don't understand. We do hear it that our unity is more powerful than a nuclear bomb. Our unity is more powerful than a nuclear bomb. 708-223-8953. Well, I think we have, a few minutes left? What do we have? We getting ready to wrap it up. But before I wrap it up, should I get one more call? I want somebody that's listening to this right now on Facebook. You listening and watching this on Facebook live. I want you to call in. And don't tell me I was going to call in, but right now, you would nod it away, but you back up. Ain't nowhere in the world you should nod on this. You should be nodding on Empire and Scandal. That's what you should be nodding on. You should be nodding on some of them sermons you getting to on Sunday, but you shouldn't be nodding on this at all. But I want one person right now that's listening to my voice, call me and got a few minutes, just a minute or two, gonna wrap it up. 708-223-8953. Give me a call right now, and I want you to tell me if in fact you're gonna vote for, hello? Okay, I'm gonna get this together. Hello, how you doing?
Hey, I just wanted to say this. I enjoyed my meal over at the Salam restaurant. For the holiday I went, the buffet was just off the chain. It is so much food that I can eat off of it for 3 days.
Boy, now you got me hungry. She didn't call in and talked about the buffet at the Salam restaurant. And I know that food is so wholesome and so good. Now I got to ride with my stomach growling. But I appreciate see, we need good food for the stomach and good food for the mind. We need them both, but we need the spirit that you have, sister. So thank you for calling. It's time for me to go. I appreciate it. You have a wonderful night, and all of those out in the audience, you do the same. Nothing but love for you. And remember, it's time for the new black leadership. And I want you to share this on your page with other folks. We need to share, not because it's me. Now, I know some people don't want to hear this because you want that same old stuff that have us where we are right now. You want that. And if you want things to remain like they are, keep listening to those clowns. Keep being entertained. Keep being misdirected by those clowns. But if you want some information that could change situations that we're in overnight, then share this with other people. I know for a fact that what I'm saying is nothing but the truth. So help me God. But I also know that that satanic, that spirit is out there live and is penetrated a lot of the minds and hearts of our people. So that's why you got that other group of people who keep you fooled and tricked. But I'm sorry, I'm not going to do that to you. Break away from that foolishness and come on that side that ain't about getting over on the people. It's time to expose the civil wrong leaders. Thank you for listening and being with us tonight here on IntellectualRadio.com. There's many shows. Look at your guide and tune in. You can find conversations almost on everything that you can imagine right here. Peace and love.